And we are live. What's up, beasties? It's me, it's Triple B, your friendly neighborhood bearded book beast. Welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to another episode of Beast Friends Forever. Woo! I'm excited for tonight's show, as always, but I'm definitely excited for tonight's guest. This is a fantastic indie author, but an even more fantastic person, somebody I've been talking to pretty much from the beginning of this journey for me. I reached out to him because his books are so cool looking, and I wanted to just pick his brain, talk to him, and get the books. And he was kind enough to send me just beautifully packaged and wrapped books. And that's when one of the first times I realized how awesome indie authors can do with presentation. So anyway, I've been looking forward to talking to this author on Beast Friends for a long time. It's long overdue. So without further ado, what's that? Who's here? Let me bring him on right now. It's Thomas Howard Riley. Hello, my friend. Hello.
How's it going? Bud, what's going on?
Not much. Just excited to have you on here, dude. Thanks for making time.
Hey, you got it. I'm happy to be here.
Heck yeah. Let me shout out some peeps that we got in the chat already. We got Timothy Janata is here. What's up, man? He lurks in the shadows. He's going to be on Beast Friends Forever coming up the next couple months, which is going to be awesome. From Australia, we got J.A. Bryden. What's up? Good day, my friend. Let's see. We got John Douglas is here. What's up? Yes, hey, right. Email's bigger than most authors, folks. Well, there you go. Keys is here. What's up, Keys? Thanks for popping in, man. We appreciate you, my friend. And anybody that is hanging out and doesn't like to put stuff in the comments, that's okay. You can hang out with us, have fun. But if you do have any questions for Thomas, just put them in there, and I'll be sure to ask them. And if you're watching this on replay, we also appreciate you. And for everybody, in the description, I've got Thomas's books linked, his website linked. Everything's in there so that you can go check it all out, because we're going to have a blast. And after you hear about his books and you get to know him more, you're going to want to check his stuff out. So it's all down there in the description. So welcome, man. Like, how's your day going? How's the life of Thomas Howard Riley been?
Going pretty good. Normal day in the desert, except that I'm ruining my reputation by it raining every day for the last 4 days.
Oh, that's no good.
Every time I mention that I live in the desert, it immediately rains just to prove me wrong.
Yep. Because that's not what you picture when you picture the desert, right? No, we picture it not raining.
Yeah.
All right, so we've got all these awesome books all around me, including this one right here that I just finished. And holy smokes, man. We'll talk about it in a minute, but why don't you start us off? Just tell everybody what kind of genre and stuff that you write in general, and then we'll dive in more specifically after that.
Sure, yeah. So I write what I call rated R, epic fantasy and dark fantasy. I try to shy away from the grim dark moniker because I don't know. I have facets of that in a lot of my work, but I don't feel like I fit the vibe to do that. Sometimes I'll refer to it here and there, but I prefer rated R because that gives you more of an idea of what I'm talking about. Because I have some pretty lighthearted moments in some of my books, comic relief, other things. Not everything is absolutely bleak in my stories, so it's just not quite. Even when I get pretty dark, it's not. I still don't consider it grimdark. Some people might. It's hard to pinpoint it. So I came up with the rated R fantasy to kind of give my best impression of what I do.
Ooh, I love it, man. I like it because grimdark's a hard one to really put a finger on what grimdark is.
Yeah, if you put 100 people in a room, you'll get 100 different definitions of what grimdark is.
Oh yeah,
so it's hard to tell. If you call your work grimdark, there may be people disappointed if it's not.
Oh yeah, they're gonna expect certain things for sure. But
definitely don't write high fantasy. I mean,
no.
I have a lot of profanity, sex, violence. Things get very dark at times. So we get there.
E.L. Montague's here. He said this. Yes, yes, that is uses the bad words, shows the blood in the boobs, and maybe kills some people. Yeah, pretty much.
Maybe he's doing a lot of work there.
Definitely.
That little golden book in the corner behind you.
Mhm. This one.
I think I kill 8 or 9 people in the prologue. So
Oh my gosh, this is the one that I'm so excited to get to. I've been working through your shorter stuff first, but man, this one. Let's. What was your first book? Is it this one?
yes, yeah.
Okay. Well, let's start there then. Let's tell everybody what this
Oh,
beautiful
and
book
I'll
is about.
send you a correct. I have a corrected version of it
Oh,
as
you
well.
do?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because what is it? What is it? What's corrected on it?
I just got a hankering to do a soft soft relaunch of it, and secret relaunch. Really, I just re-added some deleted footage
Ooh, okay,
scenes and
sweet.
tweaked a few things a while back
Okay,
while I was kind of in one of my hiatuses, and I just never got around to until recently because kids.
okay.
Sure, I'll get you a copy of that. But yeah, go ahead.
Oh yeah, no, I was just gonna say, let everybody know what this awesome book is about.
Oh, that the what it's about? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. In
I'm
your own
sorry,
words.
I didn't know your answer. Yes. So it's about a drug addict who hunts magicians, a sword fighter who no one has ever heard of, and a magic wielding thief. Who is hell bent on revenge, and they're all in pursuit of a superhuman serial killer who's trying to make himself into a god.
I mean, come on, people. What a blurb. I mean, just one of those three characters, you'd have me hooked. But all three together, come on now. That's awesome, man. And this is a pretty chunky boy. Pretty good
Yeah,
size.
yeah, it's a big one. When I started writing or started pursuing an indie career, I was kind of the mind of you make one series and
Hmm.
you put your ideas in that series and you kind of in the veins of a Robert Jordan or a George R. R. Martin or where you have a main series, and that's where you put all your ideas. I've since kind of divorced myself from that mode of thinking quite a bit because it's just too hard to jam pack everything in without things feeling shoehorned together.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Um, there's a lot of glue and a lot of trying to figure things out, and so I decided. So that's why I kind of went with that. With a big chunky book, and I'm kind of stuck in that with that series because that
Hmm.
series is going to stay pretty chunky.
We all
But
like
I've moderated it somewhat because the sequel to that book originally I got up to somewhere around 700,000 words into writing it, and I realized it was just too much altogether. So I definitely did a little splitting up and removing some of that to make it more clean.
Okay, I gotcha. All right. Uh, so your covers are all amazing, as JA just said here. He said, "Awesome cover," and I agree. They're all
Thank
awesome.
you, Jay. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's that one is Omar Barak Onal, who's a really awesome artist,
Okay.
and he surpassed my wildest expectations on that. I gave a lot of specific direction on that one of how I wanted the characters to look, how I wanted them, what I wanted them to be doing, kind of like the color palette and things. And he came back with pretty much that.
Oh wow.
Um, as the and then we did a little tweaks and whatnot,
Yeah.
but I was just blown away, and that's I just love it so much the
Oh,
way
it's
it
it's
looks.
so good, man. How did you find him? Like, how did that process go? Finding that cover art?
Um, I was obsessively searching for cover artists. I was going through Twitter, going through ArtStation, DeviantArt, everything that I could find on the internet. Um, and I ultimately found him because a couple of author pals of mine had used him.
Mm.
as their cover artist, and I thought, oh, his art style, because I was looking for that kind of style
Oh yeah, it's
for at least for this book.
hmm
I wanted this type of style, and I was like, well, his style seems to fit really good, and it turned out that it was a perfect fit because,
Oh yeah, nailed it.
yeah.
It looks so good. Everybody, check that out. Very nice. All right, that's a hefty book. I'm going to set that bad boy
Mhm.
down for a second.
Fair,
Uh,
fair.
so
Yeah,
let
you need
me.
to wear you need to wear like wrist
I
guards when you're
know I need some guards, like you said. Let me shout out a couple people that popped in here. Jasper Renwick is here. What's up, Jasper? Thanks
Hey,
for being
Jasper.
here. And Michael Roberti just popped in. Said came to
Michael.
share the love of Thomas Howard
Hey,
Riley.
buddy.
He's another awesome guy. I gotta have him on. We've chatted about it before, and it hasn't worked out.
Oh, you've got to. Yeah.
Oh, he's fantastic. All right. So next, I think was probably this one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Monsters We Feed.
Another
Yes.
awesome cover. What is
So
this one about?
that one was after I released We Break Immortals. I had sort of like my tale of woe happen where I got incredibly ill.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, uh, Long story short, the kind where you're not totally sure you're gonna make it, kind of a
Right.
thing.
Yeah.
And that kind of derailed because the sequel We Break Immortals is pretty heavy. Uh, Not just subject matter, but like world building, keeping track of characters and plot lines and stuff. And I already had drafted the sequel, but it was too much to deal with while dealing with that situation.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
so in the interim, I was like, well, I'll just I'll try to write a smaller book to keep the writing juices flowing.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it would be a great idea. I got the idea from talking to Ryan Cahill early on about having a novella
Mm-hmm.
as a reader magnet, and I thought, okay, so I got someone had given me a bunch of challenges of what to do, like at the same time. So they were saying try to work outside your comfort zone. And my comfort zone is swordsmen, uh, duels, magic, epic magic battles, magicians, very competent individuals being thrust into situations where their competency is tested.
Mm-hmm.
And so my challenge with Monsters We Feed, the challenge I set for myself was I want to make a protagonist who does not pick up a sword, who does not handle a sword at all,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
has no magic, no like magical abilities.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I wanted to make it a kind of a noir story within an epic fantasy, dark fantasy world. And I wanted to make it just a 40,000 word novella. And then I failed at the last one, obviously, because I ended up going to 110,000 words. But I started that the idea of that was just from a tweet about a random piece of lore from my world that wasn't even in We Break Immortals. It wasn't even really brought up. It was just like one of those parts of the iceberg that were still below the water, so to speak. And so I took that one little idea of the fact that. Well, I guess I should get some background. Like the thing that sets all my books take place in the same world. The thing
Mm-hmm.
that sets my world apart from others is that my magic system, there's a way to track magic. Magic leaves like a residue, and there are certain
Mm-hmm.
tools
That's
and
cool.
tricks and tactics that kind of like CSI almost,
Mm-hmm.
but for magic, where
That's
you can
cool.
use tools and techniques to track down sorcerers and pursue them, to stop them from doing bad things, or for awful regimes to use to persecute
Mm-hmm.
good magicians. So depending on where you are, but that's kind of the crux of it, is that I have this system where you can track magic, and then there's a whole other elements to my magic system as well. But that's kind of like the key difference.
Mm-hmm.
And so one of the things that the magic trackers, they're called render tracers, because they call any magical effect is called a render, because they're rendering it into reality. They have this like lens device that they can use to look through that will unveil the otherwise invisible residue of magic, kind of like turning on a black light. Like imagine a more complex version of that.
That's
where
cool.
you can
Okay.
see things that aren't visible to you
Hmm.
to the naked eye, but now you can see them with these tools. And one of the bits of lore is that the crystal lenses that are part of this lens, because it has several filters that go over it. They are extremely expensive to produce. So every magic tracker, in addition to all the other equipment that they bring with them, has this lens that is basically like carrying around a Fabergé egg with them wherever they go. Like
Oh wow.
they're worth well more than their weight in gold. And so one of the bits of lore was that they have to be careful when they're going outside of populated areas, or
Hmm.
if they're going into neighborhoods within cities that aren't well protected, or where law isn't enforced, because bandits will try to attack them to kill
Oh
them, rob
yeah.
them, or kill them, and
Right.
take that device.
Hmm.
And so my impetus for writing Monsters We Feed was, what would happen if one of those people was attacked, and then before the attackers could come back to finish the job, a normal, everyday character stumbles across this dead body with the lens, and then
Oh,
opens their eyes to this world of this underground world of magic and criminality and
that's awesome.
corruption, and there's a lot of twists involved in that. So, but yeah,
Oh,
it all came out of a single sentence of lore.
that's crazy.
and
That's
and
so
I wrote
cool.
it very quickly too. The energy that you get when you're uh, when you have that, you feel like your life is on the line kind of situation. I wrote that whole book in about 5 weeks.
Wow, that was quick.
I think I had kind of plotted out what I wanted to do with it, and then I just kind of started writing.
Dang,
Um,
because this is
and
a good size novella too.
yeah, it's not a novella; it's
It's like a
a
short book. It's
book. Yeah,
300 pages, right?
it's almost 3 times as long as
Yeah.
what you could call a novella. So, but yeah, I wrote through the whole thing, kind of how I wanted, and then right at the end, I realized there was another layer of the story that I wanted, that I thought was missing from it. And I came up with what that extra layer would be, and those other parts of the city that I wanted to explore. And then I went back and kind of layered that into the story to make the story complete. That took about a week or two, and then I just edited it, had it proofread, and then off to the races.
Nice, man.
Yeah,
You killed it on
it's
that. That's wild.
it's the fact. I mean, I wrote it very very quickly. I'm still astonished at how fast that went through. It was just at the right. I was in the right headspace at the right time,
Yeah.
and the story just kind of poured out.
Is
So
that the fastest you've written any of your books?
I would say, yeah, yeah. I mean, definitely. I mean, but page for page,
Hmm.
yes. I wrote it faster. Technically, I wrote it faster. You know, page count percentage wise than I wrote Last Gasp of Midnight.
Wow, that's wild.
Yeah,
It was flowing when you wrote this one.
yeah. I don't think I'll ever be able to do that exactly that way again.
Yeah.
It was just the perfect thing. It just really, the story just really wanted to flow out of me
Oh yeah.
on that one. There was because whenever you're writing a book, there's always sort of like I always get sort of like a friction
Hmm.
as you're trying to write your book, trying to mold your story in the way you want it to go. Characters will push back, like as you get into the mindset of the characters, because after you spend enough time with your characters, you start to inhabit your characters,
Oh
and
yeah.
so suddenly uh, you're like writing the story. You're like the director, you're or the screenwriter, and you're writing the story. But then a part of your brain starts to act like method actors within
Oh
that
yeah.
story, and then
Hmm.
those method actors, the method actor part of your brain starts arguing with the screenwriter part of your brain about what the motivation of the character really is and which direction they should go. So there's always a bit of that within stories when you're writing, and sometimes it can be really intense. Sometimes it's a real grind, a real labor
Hmm.
of
Hmm.
love. Not that you don't enjoy doing it, but you
Oh
really
yeah,
have to
yeah.
work at it.
Hmm.
And then there are other times where it's not so much, and that book is the least resistance I've ever had to my original thought and feeling to what the characters ultimately wanted to do. So it's just a perfect thing. And the cover artist for that one is
Mhm.
J. Caleb Design.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
and he is also fantastic. I like to have the different books I write or different types of books I write. I like to have different
Hmm.
art styles, and his style is perfect for a number of my books because he has done the other three covers, and has a couple more that I'm waiting to
Oh,
unveil
nice.
sometime
He did
soon.
this one too, right?
Correct. Yeah, he
Yeah,
did that
I
one
recognize that. Yep.
and Light of Kasaban as well.
Oh, I didn't know he did that one
So yeah,
too.
he,
Okay.
he did all three of those,
He's so good.
and for those ones, he's just fantastic because I gave a lot more of a vague like with We Break Immortals, like I mentioned that I had a lot of very detailed, like it was my
Hmm.
debut. I really wanted the cover to look the way I wanted to look, so I had all these details in a brief to my artist. But for Monsters We Feed, I just kind of said, this is the vibe of the story. I
Hmm.
kind of want the character to be facing away, and this is the environment, and kind of showing the representing the environment of
Hmm.
like kind of the labyrinth of the depths of the city that he lives in, and literally came back with that right out of the gate.
So cool, man. Yeah.
And
Move closer.
I even thought, well, maybe we should try. He's like, are you sure you want to take? Well, I can come up with a slightly altered version, and we'll see if you like that. And he came up with another version. I was like, nope, the first one's good. First one's
Oh,
perfect.
it looks awesome, man. I love the how the typography goes with this cover too. Like, so cool.
Yes, it's funny. We actually had more back and forth nitpicking about where to place the
Really?
words, like how high the we should
Oh
be,
yeah.
how like space. Like there was more of that than there was about the actual art because the art
Oh man.
just nailed it first
Oh
time.
yeah. It's so good.
Yeah, I think the only note that I had on that one was to add the glowing handprint.
Yeah, that looks so cool.
Because if you see in the character's hand, they're holding the lens, the
Oh
crystal
yeah, I didn't
lens.
notice that until just now.
So you want, yeah, you normally you probably wouldn't
There
realize
it
that
is,
until you
right there.
read the book. But
That's cool. Well, even the hand, like I noticed it before, but now that you talked about the magic and
mhm,
tracking and stuff, it's like, oh, now that hand makes so much more sense.
mhm.
That's cool, man. Yeah, I love that cover.
But yeah, and it's not a straight prequel to We Break Immortals, but it does
Mhm.
happen in the same world,
Okay.
in a city that's not explored in We Break Immortals, and it happens about 20-25 years before the events of We Break Immortals. But there are I always put tie-ins and connections in all of my books. So even though it's not like a direct prequel, there are Easter eggs, and there are the characters in Monsters We Feed are related to the characters in We Break Immortals
Oh, that's
in
awesome.
some way. Some
Okay.
ways overtly,
Hmm.
in some ways implied. That someday people will learn the truth and go, oh,
Ooh.
yeah. So
Okay. I like that. A little bit of both. I like it. All right. Before we move on to the next books, let me shout out a couple more people that popped in. We got Lucas Clay, who always makes me hesitant to click on his
Lucas,
intro when he pops in. He said, "Old
hey bud,
Griffey Boston." He never just says, "What's up, guys?" He always says something where I'm like,
got have something wild out of the
whatever.
gate.
I'm clicking on it. Oh man. So he is here. Thanks for being here, Lucas. You always crack me up, man. And we got Mr. Tim McKay, awesome author and Bearded Book
Damn.
Piece channel member. What's up, Tim?
Hey Tim.
And Michael had to scoot out, but if you watch the replay later, Michael, thanks for hanging out, man. We appreciate you popping in. All right, and I think yes, that was it. All right. So the next was this bad boy right here.
Yes. Yeah, that is a story about a poor teacher of magic who takes in and adopts orphan children, magic users, and hides them and keeps them safe and takes care of them while teaching them magic. And all the while, they're under the threat of a brutal religious order that has conquered their city and is now and these religious members are magic users themselves, and they covet magic for themselves and do not want anyone to have it that is not one of them.
Hmm.
So they are pretty brutal fellows.
Oh man, such a cool idea. Another awesome idea. I feel like you have just these inventive ideas that just make me want
Yeah.
to read it right when I hear what it's about. Like
Yeah,
pretty awesome.
this is kind of like the opposite of We Break Immortals, because We
Hmm.
Break Immortals, the one of the main characters is a hunter of
Hmm.
magic users, and
Yeah.
he hunts terrible people who use magic, like to commit their crime, like serial killers, pretty
Yeah.
much
Yeah. Yeah.
serial killers,
Mhm.
cult leaders.
Yep.
Who use magic to hurt people? Like, imagine if if Gandalf was a serial killer instead of a
That's
kind
terrifying.
old wizard.
Yeah.
Uh, whoa,
Yeah.
so that's one end of it, but this is the other end of it, where that same system of hunting sorcerers can be used instead of liberating people and keeping people safe. It can be used to oppress people, and instill terror in people. And Saya, the main character of this book, is probably the sweetest, kindest person. And so I feel terrible constantly for the things that she has to go through. I really feel like she's a character from a cozy fantasy who got shifted out of it into a terrible, grimdark world,
Yes.
and is forced to deal with it. But she's one of my favorite characters because she is not like a fighter herself. She does have magic, but her magic is primarily like a defensive kind of magic.
Mm.
Like she doesn't have the ability to strike people with like with a force blast or a
Hmm.
fireball or
Hmm.
whatever it might
Yeah.
be.
Yeah.
Because in my magic system, the magic is basically, the sorcerers put together bits of altered reality to make like an effect happen, like to make fire happen over here, or to increase the temperature over there, or to, make a invisible ball that you can send like a bullet to kill someone. Um, Her ability that she has is to bend light to make things invisible or reflective. So she can't shield anyone. She can't uh, outwardly hurt anyone. All she can do is hide, and so that's kind of also kind of a metaphor for her whole personality and
Hmm.
her whole uh, uh, motive in this story is keeping her and her students hidden, keeping them apart from the people who are trying to hunt them, and that's kind of what the story is about. But yeah, so her strength, being able to deal with this terrible world and these terrible situations without having any of that offensive capability.
Hmm.
Oh,
Well,
there we are. It's thundering right now. Good
oh,
grief!
there it is. See, you don't live in the desert.
Every time I say, "Man, it's so hot," people are like, "Well, what's the weather like today?" And I'm like, "It's raining again." But yeah, Light of Kasaban also takes place in a brutal desert, and the desert kind of mirrors the oppressive heat of the desert, mirrors the oppressive nature of her situation, of the religious order and the priests and their twisted versions of magic hunters that are after her in that book.
Oh, so cool, man. Uh, EL just mentioned something. I did notice it a little. I think, are you using the mic on your headphones on that string? Is there a mic on them? Like, I'm
Um,
wondering when you move around if it's scratching against your.
oh, it shouldn't be this one. Is this the one I'm using?
I'm not sure. That's the only thing I can think of.
I
It's
thought I
like
was
I
using
didn't
this one.
hear it
Is it this one? Can you hear it right here?
move around a little bit.
Hello? Hello? Am I louder now?
I can hear it. Move around a little bit like this. Yeah, I still hear it. I wonder what that sound is. Huh?
I wonder if it's my fan.
Maybe.
Hang on.
It's definitely just when you move, though. That's what made me think it was your the mic on your earbuds. But
Yeah, I don't
yeah,
know. It might just be my fan
okay.
blowing
I mean,
air.
I can still hear you. I just didn't know if it was that it was an easy fix, but it's not it's not super distracting or anything.
Okay.
I did notice it. Uh, but anyway, yeah, I this one after I finished this one, I started this one, and I've heard that this one is super dark. people have talked about it. I mean, I think all your
Yeah.
stuff is dark, but I've heard people say like, "Dang, that's dark." So, I'm excited to keep going with this, and after hearing you talk about it, I'm even more excited. But man, these covers are just incredible.
Yeah. Another cover right out of the gate. I just kind of described the story and the
Yeah.
setting and the character, and they came right back with that.
Oh, it looks so good, man. So good. And then the one that I have read, that I just finished, this one I read in one sitting because it was so good. Last Gasp of Midnight. And you do so much in a short amount of pages with this thing. It's pretty incredible. You took me on quite the ride. Why don't you tell people what this one is about?
Yes, that's a story of a single fight between the last two men alive after a battle, one from each side, and they both have their own reasons why they can't walk away
Mm-hmm.
from this fight, and they're pitted against each other, and they so it's kind of like a multi-part battle where they fight and then talk as they're fighting, and like kind of the story kind of develops from there. But yeah, it's my attempt to write a short story that ended up going far too long, and so it's more of a novelette, I believe, is the technical term.
Okay. Well, it is really, really good. I had a blast with it, and you handled everything in it so well. I was just super engaged. You would think two guys as the only ones left standing would, and it's not. I mean, there's a lot of good battling and action in it, but there's so much dialogue, and you just do an amazing job with it. So this is people can get this for free too by signing up for your newsletter, right?
Correct. Yeah, the ebook version is still available for signing up for my newsletter. And then the physicals, of course, you can buy, wherever,
Right.
physical books are sold. But yeah, so it's, I wanted to, I basically, I finally got my reader magnet that I've been trying to write for the last 5 years. I finally
Hmm.
found something that I could keep short enough. But as per usual, my attempt to write something short just didn't work out, and it went over long. But I just have to accept that that's who I am at this point.
This is how it goes.
But yeah, I wanted to, because this story is kind of obviously a standalone story, in the same way that Monsters We Feed and Light of
Hmm.
Kasaban are standalone stories. Even though they do interact with events and characters of the other books, they are at perfectly standalone books. Like, you don't have to ever read any of these to understand any of the others. But even then, Last Gasp of Midnight is in the same world, just far, far in the past, and will have connections to it eventually. But it's, you can just read it and enjoy it as a standalone if you want to. But I wanted to showcase kind of how I go about writing stories, because even though it's not like a direct lead into any of my other books, I just wanted it to show how I go about the idea of writing stories, where I take a concept and then try to build emotion out of it, and surprise with surprising twists and turns, and have like world building worked in, and then have a final, like an emotional impact. And so that's kind of what I was going for with Last Gasp of Midnight.
Oh man, very cool. Well, you nailed it. If that's what you're going for, because it was excellent. So I highly recommend anybody that's curious check that out. It's very good. So I have some questions about the world and how everything fits in and how you chose to do things a certain way. But first, you've been in my things before, so I got a question for you, Thomas. Do you enjoy good dad jokes?
I do. I am a dad, and so just by nature of being that, I kind of have to.
Well, you won't find any good dad jokes here, but I do have some dad jokes
are
for
there
you.
are there any good dad jokes?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I've got a couple for you. All right.
Okay.
Here goes the first one. So, uh, I used to live on a farm, and sometimes I would have trouble with the internet. So I would move the modem into the barn, and it would always fix it. Internet always worked great. I think it's because moving into the barn helped me to have a stable Wi-Fi.
Right, that was pretty bad.
That was bad. All right. This one's really good though. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So the other day, I was really excited. My daughter is really getting into reading, so my 12-year-old daughter comes up to me and she says, Dad, can I have a bookmark? And I just started crying because I'm like, 12 years and she still doesn't know my name's Chris. Come on, that one's pretty good.
That's good. That's good. That reminds me of the one I see online all the time of where the dad falls down and breaks his leg, and he
Oh,
says, "Son, call me an ambulance." And then the son says, "Dad, you're an ambulance." And the dad
yes,
just
saw that
very
one
the
too.
proud dad gives the thumbs
Yep,
up.
yep. I can't even be mad.
Yeah. Oh, keep
That's
keep
right.
going. I'm going to see if I can fix this fan here. Keep
Okay.
talking. I'm still here. I'm
Yeah,
still with
yeah.
you.
Oh yeah, no problem, man. You guys love it, don't you lie? That's what you come here for. Especially you, EL. I know that's why you come here. All right. Hopefully Thomas can get that
All right.
figured out,
We'll
but
we'll see if that does anything for it.
no, it has not, my
It's
friend.
still going.
I don't know what it is. It's so odd.
I
It
don't know
sounds
either.
like papers like shuffling around on a desk or something like. But it's only when you move. That's why I thought maybe it was that thing. I don't think two mics would be connected, but I don't
Do I
know.
have two going at once?
I'm trying to see if it'll show me if you do or not. I don't think it does. Hmm. Interesting. Let me see what it says for settings. Let's see. It's trying to get me to. Um, while I'm checking this, I love that all your stuff is in the same world. Now, when you started writing We Break Immortals, was that always your plan that you were going to tell different stories in the same world, or was it was it something you thought of as you were writing it?
No, yeah, that was always kind of my plan. Was one of my big influences early on was like Dragonlance and
Mm-hmm.
Forgotten Realms, and I really love the idea of an expanded universe where everything all is all in the same world, but in connected, maybe impacting each other, maybe not, but all connected to the same world events and the same uh, the same general world.
Nice. I don't know what you did. I haven't heard it yet, so I don't know.
Did I
I'm
fix it?
starting to
Did I
wonder if it is.
accidentally fix it?
I wonder if it is something now that that cord's going across. I wonder if it was some. Does that have one of the little mics on it?
I mean, I think it does, but I selected for this other mic that I
I
have, so I
know.
wonder if it auto
I wonder
unselected.
if because who knows? Maybe it's an EV Mux thing. Maybe if you use audio
I'm
and
just
the
going to
mic's
try
on,
really hard not to move. So I'm
don't
going to stay
move, man.
perfectly
Hold
still.
still. But yeah, I didn't hear anything when you just talked, so that's good.
Okay.
All right. I love that. And is that something you kind of see going forward with everything you're still working on? You're going to
Yeah.
stay with
Oh yeah.
that concept?
Everything is still going to be connected. Uh, even stories that are very distantly related, they'll all still be in the world somewhere. Because one of the things I did early on was build a huge world
Hmm.
that had a lot of room in it to explore different ideas. And one of the things I like doing is seeing how different cultures and different societies deal with the magic system that I've created, and how they apply magic or the hunting of magic.
Very cool, man. I love it. And that's my other question is you have all these really cool ideas with the magic system and everything.
Hmm.
Were these things you've been thinking about yourself for a long time? Are they taking little bits of inspiration from things?
Yeah, it kind of built up over time. Like the idea for the magic system
Mhm.
is something that kind of little bits get added in over a while. The individual stories that I think up, they kind of come out of in the moment what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
And yeah, some of them maybe I thought of years ago or 2 months ago or what have you. But I think of the story ideas as they come up, but the overall magic system kind of agglomerated together is kind of my love of a bunch of different things like
Mhm.
heads up display, like vision, like predator vision
Oh
or
yeah.
something, or night vision goggles,
Hmm.
those kind of things. Um, uh, all kind of go together. the desire to see hidden truths that are hidden from most people,
Yeah,
but that you have a special way to see, kind of is a cool concept that has always kind of been in my head.
I love it, man.
But yeah, I think it built up over time because my early writing didn't have anything like that in it. Like when I was a little kid, I would just write small stories, on my mom's Apple II GS home computer
Oh
with
yeah.
4 MB of hard drive storage space on it.
Oh yes.
But yeah, I think my first story was about a character named the Mighty Toth, who was
Ooh.
a former, like an exiled former warrior who's now a mercenary, and everybody calls him the Mighty Tooth, and he gets really upset and cranky at them. And a bunch of adventurers, kind of like your basic, your basic D&D party of characters, hire him to go with them on this adventure. And that was kind of the first story I ever wrote. It was also the first story that I ever lost because I was saving it on one of those little 3x5 floppy disks, and the file got
Oh.
corrupted. The
Oh.
backup got corrupted too,
Oh
and
man.
so that is also the start of that was the start of my fantasy writing uh, experience, and it was also the start of my obsession with making like 25 backups of everything I'm working on.
That was never gonna happen again.
Yeah, no, I was so upset. Like, imagine how upset you'd be, and then put yourself in a emotionally unregulated 9-year-old's body, and
Oh yeah. I can
yeah,
imagine.
so I was pretty devastated. But
Oh, you
yeah.
gotta sprinkle that character in somewhere. That's actually pretty good, man.
Yeah. Oh, I'm thinking. I'm sure I'll find room somewhere for something
Oh
like
yeah, I
that. I have a,
love
I
that.
have a lot of story ideas. Usually the author thing is you have more ideas than you have time to write, and that's
Oh
definitely
yeah.
definitely my case. So hopefully someday I'll get to all of these ideas, and I definitely could find room for Mighty Toth somewhere in there.
Oh yeah. We'll just keep plugging away, man. Um, so next question I have is what's next? Like what are you working on right now? What's your next thing that you're working to
Right
put out?
now, I'm in the middle of 2 big projects, and then I have a bunch of shorter story, shorter novella type or short book type
Nice.
things. But the 2 things I'm working on right now are one is going to be my next full length book, which is going to be called The Heroes We Never Were.
Ooh, I
And
like
it's
that.
about a grumpy, drunk, disgraced former knight and the mischievous young daughter of the lord that he serves, and their giant dog, a dog who's named Horse.
That's awesome.
And so they're trying to uh, uncover a mystery involving a traitor in their castle, and an assassin among the guests of their castle, trying to stop a war from destroying their home.
Dang, man. All right, sign me up. That sounds good.
It's going to be a bit not as big as We Break Immortals, of course, but
Mm.
it's going to be more on the chunky side. So I'll be getting back to my form there. But I really love these characters, and I think they're the best. So that's the one that's basically done. It's just in
Nice.
for proofreading, and then
Okay.
uh, this story has been like has been a story needing a cover. Usually, you have a cover while you're still finishing
Yeah.
the story.
Yeah.
I have a story while I'm still working on getting the cover done. It's been quite a saga,
Oh
but
man.
I think I've got something that's almost ready to reveal on that.
Ooh.
So I'm very
All right.
excited. And then the other thing I'm working on is the true sequel to We Break Immortals, which is going to be another chonker. Which oddly enough, I've had the cover art for almost a year and a half, but
Oh
haven't been
man.
able to release it because the book isn't ready. So it's kind of like,
Oh wow. Yeah. You're
yeah,
flipped the other way now.
yeah.
That's exciting, man. And then you said you got a bunch of short stuff you're working on too?
Yes, yeah. I'm working on yeah, just a bunch of shorter story type like novella or slightly more than novella length
Oh,
things. One
awesome.
of them, which technically could be considered sort of a sequel to Last
Mhm.
Gasp of Midnight. I know
Ooh.
anybody who has read that story may be like, "There, I don't really see how you could have a sequel to this."
Okay, okay.
But
I'm intrigued.
I've found a way
Okay.
because there is there is another named character mentioned in that story.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Mm-hmm.
think I have an idea of where I want to go with that.
Ooh, I like it. I
Uh,
like it. All right. Very cool. Uh, so now is a great time, people, to jump on the Thomas Howard Riley train because you got a bunch of stuff coming out
Yes.
in
Yeah.
the foreseeable future. Lots of fun things. So that's awesome, dude. Uh, all right. So in a second, we're gonna switch gears. I want to hear about your journey into becoming an author and a writer and some of your inspirations. But first, I do a question of the day every day on my channel. I like to ask my guests what their answer would be. So today's question was, which of these four post-apocalyptic world types could you see yourself having the best chance of survival in? So
Okay.
first up, we got zombie apocalypse. You know, we know it could be the Walking Dead type zombies. Maybe it's the running,
I would
terrifying
not.
zombies.
No, I would not have a good chance of that because I would be so bored that I would just let the. I've seen so many zombie TV
Oh
shows,
yeah.
spin-offs, and movies and video games that all the joy of zombies has been killed off of me. So I would probably just offer myself up to be bitten and just have done with it. So
Okay,
I
so
can
it's not
rule that one out for
so
sure.
no zombies. All right. Next one is a catastrophe apocalypse happens with water. So think Water World. You remember
Okay.
that old movie? So that was the next one where the whole world is just flooded, covered with water, and civilizations create cities and communities and stuff on top of the water.
Okay.
That's one.
That one would also be tough because I don't
Me
like
too.
the open ocean.
Same. Same. I would have a hard time with that
Okay.
one. The next one is something happens and there is a um, what was the wordage I used? Basically, a unsafe atmosphere where you can't be out in the air. People live like underground or in silos or something like that. And if you go out, you got to have like a suit because if you breathe the air, you're done for.
Mhm.
And then the last one I had on there was basically hell on earth. You know, hell comes, demons, all that kind of stuff, fiery everywhere.
I think the hell on earth would
Hell on
probably be
earth.
the best one. I think I would just get such a huge kick out of destroying some demons. That would really yeah rev my engine up for some adventure. I think that would be the one.
Oh man.
I think the bad atmosphere. I get too claustrophobic. I
Oh
think
yeah.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
be able to use the
In
breathing
that
suit.
suit,
So
you just rip the helmet off and you just
right,
be done.
hell on earth would be. I would that would be. I would have the most freedom to be my demon slaying self in that one.
Oh
So
man, makes me think of like that could be a good book series, like a
yeah,
an author who writes like dark fantasy, and then Hell on Earth comes, and
there
they
you go.
become a demon
I
slayer.
tell you what, that'll be my cozy fantasy
There
story.
you go. It writes itself. I love it.
Hell on earth.
All right, nice, nice. All right, so take us back to when you were just a little THR, just a little Thomas Howard Riley.
Yes.
And let us know what were some of your inspirations that got you into fantasy and maybe into dark fantasy,
Well,
and then what got you?
definitely early
Go ahead.
on. I started reading at a very early age, so
Okay.
I was really into reading whatever I could get my hands on.
Hmm.
And my mom had the Lord of the Rings trilogy. This beautiful set back here of the
Oh,
1973
nice.
version.
That's
Uh,
awesome.
of those, and I just devoured those. The Isaac Asimov's Foundation trilogy, because even though I don't write science fiction, I'm a huge fan of reading sci-fi, space operas, all dystopian, all of that. Um, so that those really started me going, and of course I loved things like Star Wars and whatnot. But book wise, the thing that really energized me to want to create something for myself was Dragonlance, Forgotten Realms, Drizzt
Hmm.
Stewart, and uh, Dragon Riders, expanded stories, and things like that. So that's really what got me in that direction and started me off on that journey. I've kind of written on and off for many years. Um, I was in creative writing class in high school, which I infamously almost failed. I technically did fail,
Uh-huh.
uh, but got some last minute extra credit that I was allowed to. Basically, my problem was I was asked to write a short story with a beginning, middle, and ending. And then I turned in a 40-page prologue for a 10-volume space opera. And so I got a lot of like half credit for things like
Oh man.
that. And so um, and so I was kind of writing all over stories, kind of all over. And at that time, right around time when I got out of high school, I started writing this story that was kind of the proto version of We Break Immortals.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it just started off as like a story where there were some characters. Sorry, we're getting a lot of thunder here.
Oh, no, I can't even hear thunder at all.
Ugh, okay. Um, so the basically at that point I started writing this proto story, and then it just kind of built up over time. And I
Mm-hmm.
mean, We Break Immortals. I think I've rewritten almost every word in the story multiple times since
Mm-hmm.
that original version. Like there was a cosmic horror Lovecraftian spooky version. There was a more Lord of the Rings type version where they
Oh
had to
wow.
where they weren't chasing a serial killer. They were
Mm-hmm.
trying to go into uh, an awful realm to stop, an invasion or something. Um, so there, eventually it kind of got to where it was going. But I even have, I think, one of my projects still from
Ooh.
my high school class. I had to write a journal of some character from history, and so I
Mm-hmm.
decided to make a journal of a soldier or a mercenary in the Second Crusade, which infamously ended in disaster. Included like my own little
Oh,
sketches
that's
of
awesome, man.
things, and after they are doomed in a battle, the characters eventually discover a book. Oh, hey guys! Sorry, my kids just got home.
Oh,
Look,
that's
guys, I'm
okay.
on video. Do you want to say hi?
Sorry, it was
Oh,
raining.
that's yeah.
Hi,
Hi.
this is Evan,
How's it going, Evan?
and this is Hannah. I gotta boost you.
Oh man.
Can't feel him.
Hang on. And this is Hannah.
Hi.
They just got home from school.
Oh
Okay, wave,
man.
guys. I gotta finish talking to them.
Come on.
All right, see you guys later.
Let's go. Let's close Daddy's door.
Okay, they're waving to you guys.
Bye guys.
Um,
That's awesome, dude.
and eventually the characters find this evil book, and and they try to escape by sea, and then they end up in this underwater realm. There's all sorts of Lovecraftian creatures,
Oh
and that was
man.
kind of my project.
That's pretty
Uh,
sweet, dude.
and
That's cool you
eventually,
still have it.
yeah. And so, and I infamously got like a D on that because I didn't have some of the specific things that they wanted, like certain sources and things like that. So,
Come on.
but yeah, that's my first ever book that I had to handwrite. But and then so kind of over the years, I've kind of just been doing that, like coming back to writing, going away from
Hmm.
writing, coming back to writing. One of the proto versions of We Break Immortals, I published on Amazon, like just not to sell, but just as a vanity thing. So I just put them on there, like just
Yeah.
so I could say, "See, look, I made an ebook." Haha,
Yeah.
back in like 2010 or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and so I'd kind of given up. I was still writing, but I'd kind of given up on the idea of publishing for quite a while. Until oddly enough, until my kids were born. When my son was born, I kind of got a real fire lit under me to go back to it and really push myself to actually do it. To like push myself past my stumbling points,
Yeah. Yeah.
and go try to go over those obstacles and get it done. And that's when I started the final current version of We Break Immortals that you have today.
Wow.
Uh, and so yeah, so it's kind of that's kind of what got me back on track with writing. And then since then, it's just been off to the races.
Yeah, man.
Despite all, I've had a lot of setbacks. As we all do from time to time.
Hmm.
I just happened to have a bunch pile up right after my debut released,
Yeah.
which kind of stole a bit of momentum. But I'm not going to let it hold me back. I'm going to keep chugging along.
Heck yeah,
And
man.
so yeah, so I've got a lot of cool stories to tell that I think people will get a lot of enjoyment out of, and I really look forward to bringing those to people.
Yeah, we're excited for it, man. And kudos to you. I think that's it's an awesome journey, and it's inspirational to all of us to see somebody that has a family and life is throwing some curveballs at them, but they just keep plugging away, keep chasing the dream, and they don't give up on it. And
Yeah.
uh,
It's
I think
not,
that's
it's never
awesome.
easy, but,
No,
um, but I
so it
just,
makes it
I
worth
just
it.
love doing it. I really realize that, it's one of those things that you do all your life. And sometimes you don't realize that you love it. You just think it's something that you do. And then you
Yeah.
realize, no, there's a reason why I keep doing this, is because
Yep.
it's a labor of love.
Yep. I love it, man. Well, let's dive into how you do that labor of love, and let's talk a little bit about your writing process.
Sure.
So, my first question I always like to ask is, on the spectrum of pantser and plotter, where do you feel like you fall? Pantser, just sit down and write, no planning. Plotter, plot everything in detail. But it's a spectrum, so most people are
I
all
would
one way or the
describe
other.
mine as like a spiral, like
I
where
love
it loops back and
it. Okay.
forth in a big loop. Um, the way I plot thing, or the way I create stories,
Hmm.
is an awful lot like that gif of Charlie Day pointing to the board with all the strings on it
Yeah,
and
yeah,
the
yeah,
conspiracy theory.
yeah.
Because I do things in weird orders. Like
Uh-huh.
I you know, um, like sometimes I'll go on like 3 day long naming binges where I'll just
Yeah.
come up with names for characters for stories that I haven't even written yet.
Hmm.
And one time I spent like 6 months just crafting my maps for the world, uh, and then hired a map artist, obviously, to make them look good. But
Nice.
like painstakingly deciding which area is going to have a peninsula and which one isn't. Like just imagine the most obsessive version of that you can, and that's
Yeah.
me. Um, but when I actually get down to writing a story, I've kind of set myself up to seem like I'm really able to do this easily because of the monsters we feed.
Yeah, yeah.
Trust me, the monsters we feed is an outlier in that regard. But what I normally do is like I get the impetus of an idea and I kind of like think it through in my head. Like I
Hmm.
kind of, and so I guess to a certain degree, I'm pantsing at that point. Like I'm pantsing the plot of the story, like general points of the story. Like what is, this character is like this. They need to do this. Here's a conflict. Maybe, and then maybe they have to overcome that conflict. And then I'll think about it. And then a couple days later, I'll just write a bunch of character names. And then I'll pick which ones I think feel like fit my story, like fit the vibe of the characters that I want to have. I'm a little bit obsessive about character names too,
Okay.
because I have synesthesia, so like letters kind of have like texture to them and color to them.
Hmm.
Uh, in an undefinable way. Like it's not like I can touch them or whatever, or feel them, but like they set off or trigger those things. So I need my character names to match what the character is. And sometimes the character begins to change into the way that the spelling of their name is in my head.
Yeah.
But so I'll come up with character names. I'll pick the ones that I want to use. I'll like line them all up, and then as I'm going through and thinking about the story, I'll think about, okay, who do I need my characters to interact with? And then I'll start trying to mix and match names to match up, names to the characters that need to fit certain roles. Like these three guardsmen that the main character needs to interact with that he's selling secrets to,
Hmm.
I'll get their names. This, wise character that they need to talk to, I'll get that name. These, I'll do things like that. And all the while the story's just kind of percolating in my head. And then eventually when I do get to where I want to write an outline, it's a very loose outline.
Hmm.
What I try to do is I try to mark it by chapters. So like I'll be like, okay, this chapter will have this scene, this chapter will have these two scenes, this chapter will have this. And in each of those scenes, I'll be like, okay, I need these two characters to talk about this.
Hmm.
And then that's my outline. So it's not like detail, like, and then these characters meet up and have a
Right, right. Yeah,
conflict,
yeah.
and we'll see what happens. So it's not, I do plot out how it's going to go, but it's not very detailed. It's
Hmm.
not very specific. I do leave a lot of room for the characters to decide where things are going to go. If a character suddenly, I decide a character needs to go off in a more interesting direction that suddenly pops up, I will change my little outline to like do that. Um, and then just recalibrate. If I think of a good idea for a good twist, I'll go back and try to make a outline of like foreshadowing moments for that twist, and like try to figure out where I can fit those into the rest of the story. So I'll kind of make like a little sub outline for, revision type stuff like that.
Mhm.
Um, the biggest one of those would be like for the Monsters We Feed was that thing I was telling you about, where I came up with a whole idea for a deeper part of the story to get into, that involved creating a whole new side character, like a whole new named character, and like 15 scenes. Like that I'd already finished the book at this point
Wow.
to what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
thought of this and I was like, so I did have to go back and then outline, okay, how am I going to introduce this character? What are the steps? And what are the steps whereby this character and this new environment impact the arc of the main character?
Mhm.
And where can I place those so that they happen in an organic, the story from a story perspective, so that they can feel like organic. And so I had to do that. So I can't call myself a pantser, because I definitely I definitely do plot things out,
Right.
but it's like the most vague kind of plotting that you can imagine. Um, Most of the true pantsing is just me thinking of the story in my head and like just jotting down ideas before I start the actual writing itself.
I like it. Well, I feel like just from reading this, I can
Mhm.
only imagine in your longer works, but I can tell you're a great character writer, and I feel like someone who's plots too much and doesn't allow any room for characters to change what you originally thought they'd do once you write
Yeah,
them.
I
I
try
feel like
so hard to be a plot
yeah,
writer, but I'm not. I'm
yeah,
a character centered
yeah,
author, and so. Uh, but yeah, early on, it was a learning experience, because I
hmm
thought that I could write based on plot
yeah,
without taking character into account at all.
yeah,
Which is why We Break Immortals got to be as big as it was, is because I had this framework for an idea,
hmm
and naive, younger me thought that you could just take, have you know, have the characters arrived at a whole new setting,
yeah,
describe that setting, describe how they feel about the setting, interact with each other, find a conflict, get new information, have a conversation, have a fight, have an
yeah,
escape,
yeah.
have and this or that, and then have a cliffhanger, and fit all of that into a single 10-page chapter. You
Right.
know,
It's gonna be
and then after my first 7 or 8 times of like I'm 10 pages in,
hmm
and I'm only to the step 3 of that 10-step thing, and I realized, okay, yeah, I can't. I've vastly underestimated
underestimated.
how long it takes to actually show true character reactions to moments, and
hmm
real conversations, and real events without it feeling rushed. And so now that's one of the reasons that my stories are much more, or my outlines are much more loose even than they were before, is because I now have a very firm understanding of exactly how long it takes to how much room it takes to show that on the page. Because yeah, it's more than just a plot. You need characters. The most important part are the characters. Like the excellent characters can carry a virtually non-existent plot.
Right.
Um, like the Blade itself is a great example of that. Like that
Yeah.
story, and where it's just great characters created, and it
hmm
has a plot, but
Right.
it's almost like the plot was an afterthought
Yeah.
after
Right. What
uh,
can I give these awesome characters
after
to do?
Abercrombie got about like 200,000 words into it. He was like, oh, I ought to have him do something. But you're just so entranced by the character, and
Yeah.
obviously his other books are amazing as well,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
but the character work is what carries that. And
Yep.
like, you don't even notice
Right.
that
I
there's
agree.
no plot. You just see
Yeah.
that the characters are moving from
Yep.
place to place and interacting with each other, but it's so terrific.
Yeah. You're just happy to be along for the ride. You don't
Yeah,
care what they're doing.
and so that's something that I've learned from my own reading, and just but it's something that I intuitively do as a writer. I intuitively want to get into the minds of the characters and really show them and have them be real, have them be complicated. I don't want them to be caricatures.
hmm
that is one of the grimdarky things that I do have in my books. Is all my characters have a lot of gray area,
Mm-hmm.
um, uh, and they get tested in ways. Even their good qualities get tested in ways. Um, but yeah, so it's and it's great to have character arcs. I love to have character development, characters reacting to moments and overcoming the trials and tribulations we put them through as authors. Um, I just love seeing characters develop more than anything else. So,
Heck yeah, man.
but I do also love a good twist. So
Yeah, yeah, oh yeah, oh, yeah. I can tell. I can tell. All right, so we talked about how good of a character writer you are. I also think you're really good at writing battle scenes and fighting action scenes, which not every author can pull off, and yours were really good. So I'm
oh,
curious.
thank you.
You're welcome. I'm curious. How did you? Was that just something that always came natural to you? Did you have to do some research? Did you? Um, Kind of look into when you read stuff and pull pieces from battle scenes that you liked and then make it your own?
Well, yeah, like all things that in writing, uh, your skill level increases as you do it.
Right.
The more experience you get doing it, um, I'm even looking back at a few of the scenes in We Break Immortals. Even now, I'm
Mhm.
like, oh, I wish I'd worded that paragraph a little bit different.
Yeah.
In that one fight scene,
Right.
they're still excellent in that book, in my opinion. But like, I feel like even just these few years since my debut released, I
Hmm.
have an even firmer grasp on it, and so that's something that you pick up from reading fight scenes that you like. That's the best way to get better at writing is read books, and when you read a scene that you really like, whether it's the thing you like about it is how tense it is, or how cool the atmosphere is, or how esoteric it is, how creepy it is,
Right.
how awesome the action or fighting is. When you find scenes like that in books that you're reading, stop and look at them and be like, why do these scenes, these specific varieties of this scene get to me? And really look at that and analyze those. I did that a lot with authors like George R. R. Martin, Joe Abercrombie, obviously,
Hmm.
but and countless others everywhere I can find them. A huge Robin Hobb fan,
Oh yeah.
um, and so I look. You'll look at those things, and you just have to like keep reading them again and look at them and look at the way the words come together, and eventually you start to pick up into your own way of writing those cool things that you find cool as well. And so I know that I've gotten better. So I'm sure the fight scenes from the Mighty Toth are just, the writer version of stick
Right.
figures,
Yeah.
cracking hands together. Um,
Yeah.
but one of the things that I found makes it easier to write a fight scene, because there's definitely the urge to show what's happening, to just show that this
Hmm.
character hits
Hmm.
this character with
Right.
this thing.
Yeah.
And so one of the things I try to do is uh, put the characters' personalities into the combat. So from the perspective, especially the point of view character, like how they're experiencing the fight. Like as
Okay.
the fight is happening, as these moves happen, they're reacting to those moves, but they're also like, you know, well, that was a dirty trick. That was a shitty thing to do. Like, I wish I could have hit him.
Yeah.
Try had a different. So, uh, you think of those types of things for your character. And one of the things that helps me write fight scenes is to have lots of things go wrong. Just have characters end up in these clumsy situations where they're one of my characters from We Break Immortals, Corin the Magnificent. His whole vibe is that he is an excellent swordsman, but he's also incredibly clumsy, and so is constantly like falling down, slipping, and having to deal with things like that. And so one of the things I do in my fight scenes is I try to have incorporate accidents into it, incorporate uh, you know because it's a lot more interesting to try to swing at somebody and slip in the mud and then fall and drop your sword and then oh crap, now there's a whole other set of things that I have to do.
Yeah.
It's more interesting than just hitting the guy with the sword, even though the cool thing is to hit the guy with the sword. So that's one of the things that I do, is I try to see how I can, uh, for everything that a character in a fight scene does that goes the way they want it to, I try to make a thing go not the way they wanted to, and that helps me. I don't. It's not like math where I'm like one and then one
Right.
and then one and then one and then one.
Yeah.
But like I do try to incorporate that in there, and it helps keep things interesting and keeps things. It keeps you guessing as to where things will go, and kind of gives more of a narrative there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, I'm glad you enjoyed the fight scenes, because I really do try hard to make exciting and interesting and real feeling fights.
Yeah, you definitely do. And hearing you describe your thought process like really comes through on the page, because that it did feel like you never it sometimes you can read a book and like you said, it doesn't always feel like their personality, like that character is fighting. It's like, oh, it's just a battle. You're focused on the action,
Mhm.
but everything that happens in this, and I'm sure in all your books,
Mhm.
it feels like each one feels different, and you're just picturing that character doing everything, and it just feels much more intimate. And I loved it, man.
I also do have a lot of fun. I like trying to have what you would call unconventional weapons in a lot of my
Mm-hmm.
fight scenes.
That's awesome.
That happens in pretty much all of my books. So, like, and you may have noticed in Last Gasp of Midnight in particular, like characters are trying to choke each other with discarded chainmail.
Yep, yep,
Characters are trying to throw other, body,
yep,
intestines from nearby corpses on each other to try to trip them up.
yep.
So that helps inject a little bit of fun into it,
Oh
because
yeah.
um, another thing I didn't mention about fight scenes, or any scenes really, but especially fight scenes, is you got to keep yourself engaged as the author.
Mm-hmm.
And if the fight scene is coming across too dryly, you start to get disengaged from writing it as an author, and it starts to feel like you're writing scenery
Yeah.
descriptions, and you just get bored with it. And then
Mm-hmm.
when you're bored as an author writing your scene's going to get boring too,
Right.
because your brain just doesn't want, it wants to tune out what you're doing. And so that's another trick that I use, is using unconventional weapons. Like in Monsters We Feed, there's a character who has to use a really heavy, thick book as a weapon, a kebab as a weapon, and a watermelon. Like
Oh man.
I try to put in all kinds of, or not a watermelon, but my version of
Yeah,
watermelon,
yeah.
helpless fruit, which is one of my role building things. But like I try to incorporate stuff like that into, to also keep things fun, and mix things up a little bit.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Well done, because you're good at it. So keep
Thank
it up. Next question is, when you're working on a book, the beauty of being indie author is that you don't have this hard deadline that you're trying to work towards, but you do have an idea of when you want a book to come out. So when you're working on something, are you somebody that sets writing goals or word count goals or anything, daily, weekly, monthly, or are you somebody with kids and
Yeah.
work and all that, where you're just like, I'm gonna write when it works, I'm gonna get it done, but
Yeah.
it's gonna be fun, I'm not gonna stress myself out.
Yeah, I don't have specific goals,
Mhm.
like page count, word count, what
Yeah.
have you. I just try to fit it in wherever I can,
Mhm.
and remove any friction between me being able to write, and the decision to just not write until later, or
Mhm.
something like that.
That's
Because
smart.
my ADHD is very aggressive and very uncontrolled, unmedicated. So I have to preemptively, like and I do this not just with writing, but with all things because of it. But I try to preemptively remove any friction between me being able to type. So if I'm at work, I'll have my laptop open to the side with the book keyed up, ready to
Mhm.
go,
Yeah.
so that when I take a break, or when I get a break from, 15-minute break or whatever, as soon as I hit the button that says I'm going on break now, I can immediately just turn and start typing. Because if I had to turn and be like, where's my laptop? Oh, okay, it's in the other room. Okay, now I get my laptop. Now I got to open it. Okay, now I got to log into it. Okay, now I got to open my document. By the
Mhm.
by the time if you're thinking of all that stuff, you're like, well, maybe I'll just forget about doing writing for these 15 minutes and I'll just wait till after work. And then you'll have another excuse after work and another one after and after and after.
Mm-hmm.
So wherever I'm at, I try to have my manuscript open, my computer ready, so that I'm ready to go at a moment's notice, because it's very. I used to have so much time, man. I can't. I always felt like I didn't have enough time, but now
Mm-hmm.
that I have kids, I have no time at all. Like I used to, as soon as I got off work, I used to have just hours and hours and hours. I
Yeah.
used to have all weekends, all my vacations I took from work just to write. I didn't
Yeah.
go anywhere. It took them to have free days to just write.
Yeah.
You know, and now that I just don't have that, I don't have
Nope.
the same free time, so I got to be able to fit it in where I can.
Yeah.
And so I don't specifically set those goals, but I do demand of myself that I always, wherever I can find time to do it, I do it, and I not make excuses for why I can't do it or why I shouldn't do it for this. Um, one of the things is, just sit down and try to write, just write a sentence, and that's
Mm-hmm.
it. And because it's when you think of like, oh, I have to write this whole chapter, oh, I don't have enough time, I'm
Right.
just not going to do it. But if you think, oh, I'll just write a paragraph or I'll just write a sentence,
Mm-hmm.
like
Yeah.
before you know it, you've written 6 pages.
Yeah.
And then you look up and you're like, oh, wow, okay. That's the best way to do it, is just to not look at it as something as 10,000 things you have
Mm-hmm.
to do. Just look at it as one thing you have to do, and then you just keep doing it, and eventually you do it 10,000 times and you have the same result. And so you have to, like, trick your brain to uh, keep it from resorting to laziness or inactivity, because the brain wants to relax,
Right.
especially after a hard day of work, hard day of
Yeah.
dealing with kids, dealing with all the stuff in life,
Mm-hmm.
wrangling, all these cats I have.
Yeah.
Um, the brain's urge is to just veg, and it
Yeah.
really, its momentum is in the direction of vegging out, to whatever content there is. And so you really have to force yourself. So yeah,
I love it, man. That's
that's
great. That's
that's a
good advice.
very, very long, drawn out, roundabout way
Nice.
of
That's
saying no. I just
no. That's what I want to hear. I want to hear how you do it. And
This interview
uh,
is a microcosm of my everything about my writing. Is just
hey,
I
that's
take
what
a
it should
simple
be.
answer and make it as long winded as possible.
You are the star of the show, so it should fit you. Um, on the flip side of that, when you do get to write and you're writing, are you a creature of habit? This one's tough because you probably don't get to be a creature of habit because you have kids and you have a busy life. But like, do you prefer? I guess preferences. Do you prefer writing morning or night? Do you like to write
Oh
in a certain
yes, yeah,
spot? Like
no, I do. I do
okay,
definitely have. It's easier for me to settle into doing things when when I've developed a pattern of doing it, when it's a
okay,
habit. And that may just be me, or that may
hmm
be my ADHD. But I if it's habitual, I
hmm
will. I have a much higher chance of doing
I'm doing
something
it.
than is something
Okay,
else. So, because I don't have to think about it, I just know, okay, after
this is
work,
when I
after
do it.
everybody goes to bed,
Yep,
I'm going to go sit in front of this computer and start writing. And it's just
yep,
something I do. I don't have to think about it. I don't have to. But my preference, which right now also coincides with when I do my writing, is at night. I
yep.
much prefer to write at night. My ideal time is to write mid morning to mid afternoon. So
Okay.
from like probably like my best time, that in the ideal world for
hmm
writing would be about like 9 a.m. to maybe 3 p.m. That would
Okay.
be my perfect hour. Of
Yeah.
course, I don't get those hours
Right.
ever because I'm
No.
at work. So my second best option is at night, because I can't have a ticking clock in front of me
hmm
and concentrate. So
Yep.
if I get up early before work,
Right.
my brain wants to keep checking the clock to see
Yeah.
when I have to stop writing, because I
Yeah.
have to do something else. And so
hmm
if it's at nighttime, I don't have any specific ticking clock. It's just whenever I pass the F out is
Yeah.
when I stop writing. So
Right.
I and just not having that kind of free, nebulous time when I need to stop
Yeah.
writing alone is more more induces being able to write than the other way around. So
That works. That's good. What about ambiance, background noise. Do you like music? Do you like it to be
Gotta have
quiet?
music. Gotta have music.
Music? Okay,
Yes,
does it
I
have to
like.
be instrumental or can it be any music?
I can write to some things with vocals if the vocals are sufficiently of an instrumental quality. Like there's some long live versions of Led Zeppelin songs
Oh, nice.
that I can
Yeah.
do. Alice in Chains, bands where the vocals very much have an instrumental kind of quality
Yeah.
to them. I can do, but the vast majority of what I write to is instrumental stuff. I love film scores,
Oh,
game
nice.
game
Yeah.
soundtracks.
Yep. Yep.
That I'm a like James Horner, Harry Gregson Williams. I also like a lot of like more modern composers. I guess they
Mhm.
call it like position music. It's basically
Yeah.
like you write orchestral music. You write like a soundtrack to a movie that doesn't exist. Basically, is
Yeah.
what they are. And there are some great ones. Greg Dombrowski is one of my go tos. He has like 15 albums. What my favorite one is called Epoch or Epoch, where it is so good. Like it just really amps up the juices for writing. But yeah, there's a whole bunch of them, like 12 Titans music, Joe Blankenberg, Two Steps from Hell, Audio Machine, groups like that. Um, Also, a lot of Dead Can Dance, like a lot of what people would consider like world music, I guess.
Yeah.
Like Dead Can Dance is one. A lot of people probably have heard Dead Can Dance, but don't know they have. One of their songs, "Host of the Seraphim," featured in a lot of movies. The one that off the top of my head is: have you ever seen The Mist?
Oh, yeah.
That part at the end, spoiler for sort of spoiler free. The tragic ending where the main
Yes.
character realizes the tragic choice. The
Hmm.
song that's playing, that's "Host of the Seraphim."
Oh, yeah. 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 Okay. Yep.
But that the female vocalist from Dead Can Dance, Lisa Gerard, also has a bunch of solo albums which are fantastic. She's the vocals in the score for Gladiator. So those
Oh,
scenes where
wow.
he's like going into heaven or
Yeah.
whatever, walking through the
Yeah.
wheat
Yep.
fields or
Yep.
whatever,
Hmm.
that's her. She has just
Wow.
these
Okay.
haunting vocals that
Hmm.
are just perfect for it.
Oh, yeah.
Um, there's a group called VAS, VAS, not to be mistaken for like the rapper VAS. Like they're like a instrumental group. They have some amazing. I think they only have like two records, but they're awesome. And there's one song in particular of theirs that is like my go-to for whenever I need to get
Hmm.
amped up to write a battle scene, like a big battle scene. It's this song called Moksha, Moksha.
Uh-huh.
That song, like if I had to fight to the death and there's no way to escape, I had 5 minutes to prepare, I would just listen to that song
Yeah.
and I'd be ready to go. It's that good. Um, what else? A lot of other, Stella Mara, Irfan, a lot of those. There's this cat named Byron Metcalf who does
Okay.
just percussion.
Oh, wow.
So it's like he makes whole records of just like
That's
tribal singing
wild. Yeah.
percussion. Um, let's see. For I love cello music. There's this cat named Adam Hurst who
Mm-hmm.
this guy just all he does is record. He's got like 20 albums, but he's amazing at that. I listen to a lot of orchestral stuff, Vaughan Williams, Arvo Part, Philip Glass. I'm way into classical stuff. I'm like a very classical geeky type person, um, but yeah, there's just so many good things that I love to listen to, and then of course my favorite song of all time is the Adagio in G by or the Sun. It's called the Sunshine Adagio by John Murphy. It's a track that he wrote and then was featured in this movie that was also called Sunshine, which is where it gets its name. That's by far my favorite piece of music ever
Oh,
written.
wow.
It just perfectly captures like I don't know, just this vibe of striving against impossible odds,
Oh, yeah.
and so like every time I listen to it, like I see, like movie trailers of my books in my
Yeah.
head, like going through, like it's just such an evocative
Oh,
song. So
yeah.
um,
That'll get
I
you pumped
I
up.
know I know some people don't uh, can't write and listen to music at the same
Hmm.
time, and I get that.
Yeah.
Um, and some people just listen to music to amp themselves up to write or whatever, but like
Yeah.
I like to listen to it as I'm writing,
Mm-hmm.
because the music sometimes pushes me to write more and differently than I would
Oh
if I
yeah.
wasn't listening to it at that moment. Like it
Mm-hmm.
can, as the music reaches crescendos, it can lead me to like change the way I'm writing certain, especially emotional scenes or scenes with
Yeah.
a big emotional core. Um, so yeah, so I get a lot of a benefit from music.
That's awesome, man. Well, you just got like a whole playlist for anybody that wants to listen to music when they
Yes.
write. You
Oh,
got
and
some awesome
I
examples.
have hundreds more that I could. So
Oh man.
if you're ever looking for music that's good for writing, I mean Armand Amar, Guy Roger Duvert,
Oh
all sorts of
man.
stuff. Like there's so many good albums. A lot of time, what I do is I just make like a playlist because I don't use Spotify. All
Hmm.
these songs are on Spotify, so you can do it. But I
Oh
don't
yeah,
use
yeah,
Spotify because I have this pathological need to have my access to my music be separate and distinct from my access to quality Wi-Fi signal because I just have a long history of being in
yeah.
areas with bad
Mm-hmm.
signal and having
Right.
crappy modems,
Yeah.
and so I just have all my music, you know, on my phone or on my iPod or my computer or whatever.
Nice.
I just have them as MP3s and it's fine. But but I just like to make playlists that are just hundreds of songs long, and I just like you know pick a random spot in there and just hit go, and then see what comes out. And then if I'm trying to get amped up for a specific kind of scene, then I'll pick
Mhm.
one of those songs that
Okay.
I really
Yep.
featured,
Yep.
or maybe I'll pick a specific album by a specific artist
Yeah.
and play it on loop or something like that um, to do it. But most of the time, if I'm just writing, you know, the way I just let it go, I just let a big playlist go and see what happens.
I love it, man. That's awesome. Well, we are coming up on an hour and a half, if you can believe
Oh,
it already. It's been rolling, man. We've been rocking. I looked up, I'm like, dang, it's already been an hour and 20 minutes. But uh, so we'll probably wrap it up here because I'm sure those cute little kids are excited to see their dad.
oh yeah.
Um, thanks for coming on, man. This has been a blast. And I would love to have you back anytime, especially when you have new books out and help shout them out and promote them. But anytime you want to come on and chat, I would love to because this
Sure.
is a
Yeah. No,
blast.
I had a great time. Yeah, I'd love to. Yeah. So as soon, hopefully it'll be sometime early next year. I'll have the cover and stuff, and I'd be happy to come back on
Awesome, man.
and chit chat about it.
Heck yeah. Well, before I go into my closing spiel, I'll give you the floor to talk about or say or shout out anything that you want. The floor is yours, my friend.
I think I've said it all at this point. Like, I mean, you've seen all four of my books. If you want more information, my website is thomashowardriley.com. As we discussed earlier, you can get Last Gasp of Midnight ebook for free just for signing
Boom.
up for my newsletter, where I do not bother you very often at all. So it's worth doing. But yeah, that's it. And then other than that, you can find me. I'm on Twitter or X, I guess,
Yeah.
a lot. I'm at Ornithopteryx on Twitter or X, and then everywhere else, all other platforms, I'm Thomas Howard Riley because after I made my X account, I came to my senses and decided to actually just make my name the rest. But
Yeah.
that's where you can find me. I'm out and about, and then hopefully be back here again sometime soon too.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Yes, I'm glad that you did because the first time I got one of your books and I did it in a book haul and I wanted to tag you on X or Twitter X. I like could not find you. I kept typing in your name. I'm like,
Yep.
what the heck? I just talked to him the other day, so I had to like search for you and be like, oh, that's why because it's under that. So
Yeah.
that was funny.
Once you follow me, it comes up when you type my name in. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yep,
it's
yep.
yeah. Anyway, that was it. My account was made in my pre-author brand days.
Oh,
And
okay.
so I just never got around to it. But yeah,
Oh,
that's
that's all.
where I
I
am.
always thought maybe it had something to do with your books, like it was one of the
No, I'm
worlds
just
or
I was
lands
just
or
I was
something.
born a geeky weirdo, and aging has just done nothing to mitigate that whatsoever.
That's fair. That's
So
why we love
enjoy
you,
it.
though.
And next time I come on, I can tell you how my wife just started writing or started reading The Light of Kasaban,
Oh,
and so
nice.
I'm getting a lot of side eye, and so
Oh,
I'll
man.
give you feedback on what she thought as well.
Yeah, that would be awesome, man. I always love hearing that. Very cool. All right. Well, thank you again, my friend. Thank you, everybody in the chat. You guys were fantastic, as always. And thank you to anybody watching on replay. And remember, in the description down below, Thomas's website, so where you can sign up for his newsletter to get Last Gasp of Midnight. And after you read it, it's awesome. And then you're going to want the physical copy because look at that cover. Come on. And all of these books are linked down below in the description. So go check out his stuff and support Thomas because he deserves it and he writes some awesome stuff.
And next
So,
time I'm on, we'll even get the microphone situation correct too. So
hey, I didn't hear anything the whole second half. So it
okay,
had to have been that chord somehow. I got to figure out why it would use that if you're
yeah,
using
it must have switched because it usually has no problem selecting this one right out of the gate. So
Oh,
something
yeah.
must have gone wrong.
I
It's
know.
probably my fault. I'm technologically illiterate.
No. Who knows? But hey,
All my literacy is in actual literacy, and then technology is just a hard stop.
right. It's a hard stop there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, everybody have a great night, and I'll be back tomorrow night with Blake Myers. He'll be on tomorrow night, so look for more info on social media and all that tomorrow. But for now, have a great night. I'll see you in the next one. And as I always say, devour your TBR, be brave, be beautiful to one another, and be beastly. We'll see you, everybody. Take it easy.